Hello, people. What is going on? Player ratings. Fulham 1, West Ham United 1. The boys are back. Last show for them for the evening, while I wait for other people who want to come on this platform. To my right is Lucas. You know who he is. And down the bottom there is Jay. And we're here to talk about the players today. Before we get started, lads, anything that you want to get off your chest or say or anything before we get cracking?
No, I already physically did in the green room. So
yes, most certainly did. Right, let's get into it. Areola, what we saying, lads?
He didn't actually have many saves to make today, did he? Is the thing. It was a weird game for Areola. I thought he was pretty calm and composed on the ball. I don't think there's anything he could have done about the goal. I think it's a pretty middle of the road. I'm going to say probably 6 out of 10 for Areola. I don't think there's a lot that we can really judge him on, personally.
Lucas, what you saying?
Yeah, 6, pretty easy. He only made 4 saves, but I feel like that'd even be kind of flattering to call it 4. I don't even really think he had to make any difficult ones either. So, yeah, just 6.
Well, as I had to say hello to all the people in the chat, welcome. I am going to say a 6 and all. What can he do for the goal? Not a lot. I will say one thing that did irritate me is he's like he had a chance to pick the ball up in one of the halves. I think it was the second half, and he decides
that was a bit of a 50-50 one in my opinion. Like, I don't know. I'd rather him be safe than sorry. I'd be absolutely fuming if he picked the ball up and then they called something for that. He should have just booted it away sooner, but
I thought it was odd as well. Here's a question: when's the last time you saw any player/goalkeeper penalised for a back pass? I feel like you're pretty safe nowadays. I don't remember the last time I saw a back pass penalised.
Me neither, but I feel like it's just one of those things. If the official really wanted to call it, they would.
And the referee we had today, he definitely would have called it. Yeah. Right. We'll move on to this man, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'll go first on this one. Don't think he was great today. I think there was moments today where his defending was a bit hit and miss. First sort of chinks in the armour for me. Second half, he looks a lot better. I don't know why. Maybe it was because West Ham weren't fucking defending all the time. But I'm going to give Aaron a 5 today. I don't think he was great. Done a good recovery tackle in the second half, but other than that, there was not a lot. And even though he switched flanks, if I remember rightly, because Emerson went off, it just wasn't. It wasn't great. It wasn't amazing. So I'll give him a standard 5. Lucas, what you saying?
I didn't think he was that bad today. I thought he was okay. His numbers weren't actually that bad if you take a look through them, but just with my eyes alone, I thought he was okay. Really, I'd probably give him just a 6. I thought he was all right. I didn't think he did a lot wrong today. The only issues I can really nitpick is sometimes his position isn't that great, but just because his ability to defend is so well, he really, I guess, doesn't always have to be pinpoint in the right position on the pitch, but I'd give him a 6.
Jay, what you saying?
I'm very similar to Lucas on this, and what I cut him some slack a bit because, especially in that first half, we'd get the ball clear and it was just coming straight back at us because it was bouncing off of Antonio. Soucek was nowhere to be seen, and we just constantly backs to the wall defending. Something that I was aware of before he joined. I absolutely love the bloke, but I was warned that he can switch off at the back post, which he did a couple of times today. So, you take the rough with a smooth. He did what we expect of him in that, Iwobi gave him a tough time, but he didn't beat him at all. He not once did he leave him on his arse and go round him. So I'm going to edge towards a 6, given the extenuating circumstances of the fact that we were dreadful in that first half.
I also really like that he seems to be comfortable at left back. That is like a huge plus that I didn't know that we'd be seeing from him.
And how dangerous is he cutting in size when he's like inverting as a left back as well?
Yeah.
Like it adds such a crazy new dimension to have a left back that's willing to do that and comfortable in their right foot. So
I think it's such a nice security blanket.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. I agree with you on that. Let's move on to this man. Mavropanos. Lucas, take it away.
The goal that we conceded today was not great by any means. But besides that, I thought I didn't think he was completely terrible, but obviously just not good enough, in my opinion. Like I'm not gonna give him I'd probably give him oh no, now that I'm kind of thinking about it. I don't want to be too harsh. I really didn't think he was like an abomination.
He was.
I didn't think he was.
Fucking was.
I've seen worse.
Emotional damage.
He was fucking emotional damage, mate. Honestly, don't misquote it. Second half, fucking shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'll give him a 4.
Mate, I can't give him a fucking 4. I'm going to be less than that. I'll go next. I thought it was fucking terrible. This geezer can't pass into midfield, gives it away straight away. The goal is him being lazy to a point. He doesn't get out fast enough, knowing that the ball's there. Second half, he wins the challenge. I'm thinking to myself, result. He's won the ball. Come on, pass the ball. Then he runs around in a circle, falls down like fucking Bambi on fucking ice, and then gets up and he's scrambling about again. And I'm thinking, what are you doing, Mav? Like, are you pissed out your nut? Nah, not for me. 3. He needs to be hold bench, I'm afraid. As old Sir Daddy would say, hold bench and sit there and fucking maintain it. I can't have this Greek twat in this team. I fucking can't. He's just not that good. 3 for me. And that
Emotional damage.
You heard him. Jay.
I'm getting over. I can't have this great twat in my team. Oh God, mate, I can't disagree with anything you said. And the thing that stood out to me, right? We were having this discussion earlier when everything was still a bit fresh, but we were talking about the high line that we were playing and the offside trap. Now, I've got no problem with an offside trap, right? I've got absolutely no issue with it. It cuts out a lot of chances that get created at your end. But if it goes wrong, boy, does it go wrong. And we saw that today. When you play an offside trap, the first rule is do not stand there and put your hand up. Like you learn that from like schoolboy age. That's one of the first things you learn as a defender when you're playing as like a 9-year-old is play to the ref's whistle. Do not stop, especially in this age where the linesman's flag just won't go up. What are you putting your hand up for? Like that for me is absolutely inexcusable and is one of the basics of defending. And I can't understand. I still can't get my head around it. Like he's the one who plays everybody on side. He puts his hand up and then he half-assed jogs back and leaves Smith Rowe with all the space in the world to score that goal. If he doesn't do that, we potentially win this game today. It's as simple as that. So I'm like, and you know me, I'm quite pragmatic in the way that I look at things, but it's inexcusable for me. Absolutely inexcusable. So I'm with you, mate. It's 3 out of 10 for me, and I think he's got a lot of improving to do if he's going to get back in this team.
Does he deserve, Lucas, to start next week for you?
A lot of players don't deserve to start, but that doesn't mean the people in that are waiting necessarily really deserve it either. Like Todibo really hasn't shown me anything that he deserves to start. Yeah. But I mean, again, I said it in the afterthought. I think this is a little bit of a one-off for me with the lineup. If he were to go with something like this next week, I think the pitchforks would be out. But deserves would not be the right answer. Would I mind if Todibo started next week? No. Would I mind if Mavropanos started again next week? I'd say no.
Possibly.
Just the words deserve. I think you got to take a bit literal.
Moving on to Max Kilman. I'll go first again on this one. I thought he played decent today. I've got to be honest. Every game I'm watching him, I can see a quality player there. I thought he defended well in the first half. Something that me and Jay discussed last night. It came to fruition in the first half when Emerson gets done by Traore and he's there, first man to head of the ball away and clear the chances away. Loved his run from midfield, from defence, into midfield and trying to set up an attack. We have to keep this geezer fit and firing because the other fucking twat next to him can't defend. So Kilman for today, I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he was excellent, right, to a point. I can't give him an 8 because the performance doesn't warrant an 8 performance overall. So I'll give him a strong 7 for me. Jay, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 6.5. I think I can't disagree with anything that you've really said. He had a really, really tough time of it today, having to cover for Emerson on the left-hand side when Traore was just bulldozing his way through. And he, as you say, was dealing with Mavropanos to one side and Emerson getting done to his left. And the ball just coming, every time we got it clear, the ball just came straight back. So he had a really, really tough time today. I think he was strong. I think he was good. I don't think it warrants anything more than that. But yeah, I think 6.5, he had a solid game.
Lucas?
I'll give Kilman a strong 6. Can't give him a 7 for me personally. But yeah, I thought he was solid and he was decent and one of our best players today.
Fair enough. We'll move on to this man. I'll let you go first again, Lucas.
Thank you.
For Emerson.
It's tough because he came off 57th minute. I don't know. I thought he was pretty decent today. I would probably give him a strong 6 as well. I thought he dealt with Traore pretty decently, and it's a shame that he came off hurt. So it's either like a solid 6 or a strong 6 for me. I'm gonna give him a strong 6 because I like him. But if I didn't like him, I'd probably give him a solid 6.
I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I thought he was okay. Obviously, dealing with Traore's hard work, and we all know that he's just a powerhouse unit. It's just like he's running and running and running. The injury's a concern for me. It really is because now he's out. We haven't really got a natural left-sided player over there, other than Cresswell. Which, if you could have said at the start of the summer, right, we need to make sure we get cover for Emerson, and we didn't. There you go. So I'll give him a 6. Jay, what are you saying?
I've not really got much more to add in terms of Emerson's performance. I think I agree with everything you guys have said. I think on the injury, yes, it's a concern, but to Lucas's point earlier, like Wan-Bissaka switching over to left back and Soufal at right back, I don't mind that too much. Depends who the opponent is, of course, because we know Soufal is prone to getting skinned by a quick winger. But also it's that route into the first team for Ollie Scholes. I don't think he's going to start anytime soon, but I think you can see him popping up on the bench and potentially getting some minutes in the Premier League, which is what we all want to see. So I think it will be painful if Emerson gets injured, but I think we've got a decent enough squad where we could deal with it. So, but yeah, 6 out of 10 for me today. 6
out of 10 for you. We move on to this man, Rodriguez. Jay, I'll let you go first. This one, what are you saying?
Again, so he and Alvarez had a tough time of it in midfield today for the reasons I've already said. I won't go back through them. We were just getting cut through. Those creative midfielders in the middle that we said we needed to look out for. I thought it was the right pair to have in holding midfield. I thought he was okay. I don't think he did anything like crazy good. I think he won the ball back a few times. I think his passing was okay, but it was just an okay performance for me. So I'm going to say 5.5. There was nothing crazy good, nothing crazy bad. It's just middle of the road.
Is it a problem that this geezer only does the basics? He doesn't do anything else other than the basics in where he is?
I think it becomes less of a problem when we get the lineup right. Because I think every player lifted their performance in the second half once we actually looked like we were playing with some kind of philosophy. But in that first half, I don't blame him. I don't blame Alvarez because they're not in that team to be the creative midfielder. They're in that team to be solid in front of the back four, win it back, rotate it, and one of them will push on as an 8 and it will switch who that is. So I don't really blame them. He's not been up to full speed. I would say he's probably at full fitness now, if not in the next week or so. So I don't think it's his fault. Hence, I'm not raging over him so far, and I think we've still got more to see from him once our best team is out
there. Lucas, I'll let you go next. I'll leave me till last.
I like Rodriguez a lot personally. I think he's a good type of player to have within your squad. But again, some people, I don't know. Me personally, I like steady players. Like I know what I'm going to get out of someone. Like he's not going to have a howler, but I don't think he's going to be like a 9 out of 10 amazing. Like he's just steady. That's why I really like James Ward-Prowse and what he offers as well. But like again, some people I think just look at aesthetics too much. And while Rodriguez is like a good technical player, he does spray the ball around a bit nicely. It's the production off of it, like nothing really happens, if that makes sense. And again, I don't know. Like I've seen James Ward-Prowse get absolutely slaughtered by people for doing the same things that Rodriguez does, and people will praise Rodriguez saying that he played so well. Like I don't know. I don't get it. I like him a lot. He wasn't very effective today, but again, as I said before, I think you need a player like him within the squad. But again, he's not the reason we drew today or whatever. I'd give him a high 5.
I'm going to agree with you. A high 5. Problem I've got with Rodriguez, I think he's a very good player, but do we need two of them in our midfield? I think we need a ball carrying midfielder, and we haven't got one to a point. We've got Paqueta in there who can do the job, but then you've got Alvarez and Rodriguez who are basically break-up merchants. They break the ball up and they give the ball to attackers. The issue is, I think you have to sacrifice one of them and then allow the other one to be like a box-to-box sort of ball-carrying midfielder. Listen, he ain't a bad player. The yellow card, he gets yellow carded. But do we really need two of them in there? It doesn't work for me. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. If you're going to go down that route of being defensive, right? If we're going to set up with two CDMs against fucking Fulham, then we are worried about something. So yeah, I'll give him a 5, 5.5 to be kind. Moving on to this man, Edson Alvarez. Lucas, I'll let you go first.
I thought he was. Again, I thought he was decent today. He was all right. Nothing too special.
What did you make, Lucas, of him going in defence in the second half? Because West Ham were playing like a 3-5-2 by the look of it. Do you know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't really notice it personally. I was just too busy praying that we would score a goal. But yeah, I thought he was decent. I thought he was all right. I'd probably give him like a solid 6. So solid 6, aka 6.5.
Got subbed for Danny Ings, which ends up being the saviour. For me, I just don't think they work as a two-man midfield. I think it's too defensive to a point. I liked him in defence. I will say that West Ham in the second half were playing very, very high. Kilman, Alvarez and Mavropanos as a 3-man defence, and they was pushing up, and they were trying to push to try and make stuff happen. So I think that's a good idea.
I think they don't work too great in possession, if that makes sense, because I think they both kind of want to be playing deeper. But I think in terms of setting up as a defense, I don't think they're that bad of a pair. It's just like Edson Alvarez isn't really that great deep, but he has to play there because he's the DM, and Rodriguez plays deep because that's what he's good at, but he's also not a 6. So it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I'll give him a 5. He got booked and all. I thought he was a standard for me. Jay, what you saying?
Yeah, I thought he was the better of the two. I liked how proactive he was in winning the ball back. It's obviously the strongest part of his game for me.
Yeah,
you're right. He's not that ball carrying midfielder. And I look at what I've just seen in our game versus what I've just seen. I watched most parts of the Villa game. Villa, when they're counter attacking, don't need a progressive ball carrying midfielder. They're passing, their angles and their knowledge of where their teammates are is just on point. And they've obviously gone 2-0 down and come back and won the game 3-2 from just incisive passing, which is what we're missing. We've got the technical ability, we've got the technical ability to play like that, but we aren't playing like that. So I thought the setup as far as having those two in midfield, I didn't mind it if we didn't have Soucek as the 10 and Antonio as the 9, because that means the dynamic midfielder that we're talking about that we need wasn't on the pitch, which is why we suffered for a lot of it. And then we were chasing a game and it became a little bit... we controlled a lot of the game for the first part of the second half, but then it became a bit like scatty as we were chasing it. And then, as you say, he comes off and the formation changes and we end up...
That is the huge thing for both Alvarez and Rodriguez, I think. If Lopetegui continues to play Soucek in the 10, we realistically have no one to carry the ball because Rodriguez is not really a ball carrier. Alvarez has shown a few times that in certain moments he can have a decent run forward, but that's not his job, nor I would say he has like the quote-unquote ability to do it. He can do it sometimes, but that doesn't mean he has the ability.
Yeah.
Or in terms of consistency. So, like, that's where I think lies the problem with the Alvarez-Rodriguez pairing, is it depends on who's playing as the 10.
Yeah, so exactly that. So I think 6 out of 10 for me. I thought he was the better of the two. I thought he had a tough gig today, and that is what it is.
Fair enough. Moving on to this man, Thomas Soucek.
Emotional damage.
This geezer's fucking shit, mate. I'm gonna be real, yeah. And is it him, or is it where he's playing, or is it both?
You know the answer. You know the answer.
I got no words today. Yeah, I feel like I've just like I don't know how to feel really, because he's been a good servant to West Ham, but he's never a 10. Never a fucking 10 in a million years.
That's why I think your soundboard is a bit harsh. I mean, watching Soucek play in the 10, which he never does, is like it's just like watching a wounded dog trying to find his way home, not being put out of its misery. And to me, that's 110% on Lopetegui. Lopetegui needs to have the box to either play him as an 8, and say that I rate him more than Rodriguez, or he needs to be on the bench. It's simple as that. As much as I love Soucek and I do rate him as a player, I don't rate him as a 10. And I just find it hard to give him even a rating, because like how am I supposed to rate someone who doesn't play like anywhere near his natural position? That's like me, like if Bowen had to move to left wing back and he put in an absolute stinker, how am I supposed to rate that? Playing as an 8 and a 10 are a complete different role, in my opinion.
I do agree with you on this. I really do. What are you rating him, Lucas?
It's tough. It's tough because he essentially was not on the pitch today, in my opinion. Like we might have been playing with no 10, no striker. So, but again, I don't put that blame on him. He's only doing what he can for the team. So a 5, 4, I don't know. I'd probably give him a 5, and maybe that's because I feel bad.
Right, I'm giving him a 2 out of 10 for turning up, putting the shirt on, running around West London, and trying to play the role that he's been given.
I really wish I could just say NA. I really don't have I don't have a thought on it. I really don't.
He's for me, Lopetegui's hanging him out to dry to a point, because you're getting a man as a number 10 who's, have it right, everyone in my chat, everyone who's watching this right now, and everyone who's watching this on playback, he's not a fucking 10. They all know it. We all know it. But the only man that doesn't know it is Julian Lopetegui. I want to know what he's thinking, right? That's the first thing. So he's going to get a 2 out of 10 for me for turning up, putting the shirt on, boots, running around and smiling at half time when he's sitting on the bench with Antonio. 2 out of 10. Jay, what are you saying, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with anything you've just said. And to the points that you boys have just made, like, I've got nothing disrespectful to say about Thomas Soucek because I recognise the job he's done for the team. But I think the time for Thomas Soucek being a starter for West Ham is done. Like for me, I think he's a valuable member of the squad and he's got a role to play in terms of coming on when we need a goal and throwing him up top. He's the kind of rotation option where you look at today and go, oh, he would have been great to bring on with 10 minutes to go. We were instead bringing on different players. But if he hadn't have started today and would have started Paqueta in the 10, I mean, as I said earlier, he completed 4 passes today in the most pivotal part of our attacking lineup. He has to be the glue that holds that together. And he completed 4 passes.
Is that him or is that Lopetegui stitching him up in a way to put him in that situation where we all know he's not a 10?
I think the answer to that question, I think, is like a different question to what I rate him today, but I'll answer both. I rate him a 2.5 today, but that is not on him. That is on him being played in a position where he is not comfortable playing. That doesn't mean that he didn't have a bad game, because he did have a bad game. But as far as I'm concerned, we should have learned the lessons from both the Villa and the Bournemouth Cup game when he was playing as the most advanced midfielder in both those games. And it didn't work. Yes, he scored a goal against Crystal Palace, but ultimately he still offered nothing until that point in that game. So we have to be looking at this and going, he doesn't fit anywhere in our team. You look at what Lopetegui wants the 2 deeper midfielders to be doing, which is being physical, which is activating a press when they need to, but also getting on the ball and trying to play on the half turn. Alvarez is comfortable doing that. Rodriguez is comfortable doing that. You could see it on multiple occasions today. When we had the ball, I think Rodriguez gave the ball away at one point and chased it down to win it back. Alvarez won the ball back in the right back position. It went to the keeper and he sprinted over in between the centre backs and went, give it back to me and I'll start it. That's the kind of attitude that we need. Would you trust Thomas Soucek doing that? Because I wouldn't. I don't want him anywhere near the ball when it's near our goal. I don't want him on it in midfield because he'll lose it, and he doesn't offer anything up the front. So as far as I'm concerned, he has a role to play in this squad for this season, but he should not be starting games for West Ham. It's as simple as that.
I just want Lopetegui to have the cojones to either rate him or not. But at the same time, he's got to know that the position he's playing him in is just, it does not work. Yeah. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Lucas, what are you rating it?
I said a 4 or 5, but four, but that's not his fault. It's on Lopetegui. I said 5 originally, but
yeah,
I'll officially stamp 4, but it's not his fault in my opinion.
Not his fault. Another thing that's not his fault is this man, Mohammed Kudus. He played left, he played right, he played left again. I don't know. Lucas, I'll let you go first.
Again, I've seen some different opinions on Twitter. I know we talked about it on the afterthought and all that, but I actually thought Kudus was one of our better players today. If I actually had to give you a top 3, I would probably say Kilman, Emerson, and Kudus. Alvarez debatable in there as well, but I don't know. I thought Kudus was pretty solid today. But again, like I've said before, just 2 things that Kudus will always have, no matter what position he plays on the pitch: his dribbling ability and his pace. And I thought first half he was arguably one of our best players because he made a few really good runs, but ultimately got fouled when something was about to happen. And then second half, when we shifted Bowen up top, Kudus to the right, Kudus just shows every single time why he should be playing on the right. And yeah, I thought he was good today. I'd probably give him. I'm gonna put him in the core 3 of strong 6s. So I'm gonna give him a strong 6 along with Emerson and Kilman.
I'll go next. I feel for him. I really do. And this is where it angers me to fucking boiling point with Lopetegui, because you've got one of our best players, one of the best dribblers, wingers in the Premier League, and you are basically hanging him out to dry on the left-hand side. Shouldn't be like that. Simply should not be like that at all in the slightest. I thought he's a trier. He gets the ball down. He tries to do stuff on his own because, West Ham are just just not playing well, and he tries to make stuff happen. You can never question him on that. The only thing I will say is, and I agree with what Brian says there, in the last sort of 30 minutes, he sort of was like getting a bit frustrated and really sort of fading out to a point. I don't like this from right to left, left to right, and all this game. He's a right winger. He's one of the best in the league at it. So I feel for him. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. We're not seeing the best of Mohammed Kudus. Simple as that. Yeah. And anyone who thinks that we're going to see the best of him on the left-hand side, you are lying to yourselves. So, yeah, 6 out of 10 for me. Jay, what are you saying?
Yeah, I just, for my own sanity, just checked. Did he play internationals in a week? He played twice. So it's no wonder that he, like I said at the time, I thought he looked leggy. And to that comment, I think it was Brian, was it? To that comment, he did fade in the last 30. And I didn't look at it as that he looked frustrated. I looked at it that he just looked knackered. And for the first half, we don't need to keep having a conversation. We know he's not as good on the left, and we struggled to get him in the game. The second he comes centrally and tries to make something happen, did it against City, didn't he? He was stuck out on the left, and he went, you know what? Give me the ball. Dropped in the middle, turned someone, spread it out wide, and we ended up scoring. And it's not new. We know that if we get Kudus on the ball, he can turn a player and he can create something. Just imagine what happens if Lopetegui was set on starting Antonio, like park that. But if you'd have just put Kudus in the middle and started Somerville on the left, who also had a good game, then it's a completely different outfit. And we've got an actual outlet who, when he gets on the ball, firstly, he'll actually want to get on the ball in between the lines. And secondly, when he does, if a player gets too close to him, bam, he's gone. Turns him and he's past him. And he
literally today, Kudus would have been so good in the 10 because literally just the fact that he would just offer himself to the ball would have been an unreal improvement on what we had with Thomas Soucek in the 10. And again, I can't blame Thomas Soucek because he does not offer himself for the ball, rightly or wrongly. That's just not really the type of player he is. But Kudus always wants the ball. He's always offering himself. And that, even if he played in the 10 today, that would have done wonders for us. We possibly could have won today, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with what Jay said.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought he had a tough rap. He had a tough game. He moved to the right and he was good. He still tried hard on the left. I think a 6.5 for me.
You know what? If this is one of the more like poor games that we may have think Kudus had, I'll honestly take it. I still think that is a pretty good performance he put in today. If that's his worst. Yeah,
I agree with you. Good. Moving on to this man, Jared Bowen. I'll go first. Get him up front, ladies and gentlemen. No excuses. Get him up front. Different side, different pressing side, different second half. He had a golden chance in the second half, which was a good effort. It was a really good effort. And like, listen, Leno's out onto him straight away, beats the defender, takes the shot. He gets the assist for the goal that gets us the point. Also, quick thinking from him, Sufal. I'm going to be real, yeah. Anyone who's not up for this fucking Bowen up front, Lark, tell me who's better. Someone come to me, DM me on fucking Twitter and tell me who's better than Jared Bowen up front, because I don't see no other man there. And they keep preaching for other players when Jared Bowen will press from the front. He's a goal scorer. He makes goals happen. Listen, he's a good kid. He's going to get, for me, he's going to get a high 6. I think it's the quick awareness for the goal. It needs to be looked at also, because I think that's a brilliant bit of play. West Ham wasn't sleeping, wasn't feeling sorry for themselves, and Jared Bowen as captain wants to this club to do well. And for me, you get him up front, you see a different West Ham. High 6. Jay, what are you saying?
I am going to agree with everything you've just said, and I'm going to say that the problems that we have, again, all come from this massive void in the number 10 position where, and I spotted it in the first half at some point. I know this doesn't necessarily involve Bowen, but it's typical of what we've seen, whereby we had the ball in the left back position. Kudus didn't have space, so him and Emerson passed the ball around. There was nobody as an outlet where you need a 1-2 to create a different angle, and then Kudus could have found some space and run in behind. There was just nothing. And that was a symptom of what happened in the second half as well. Later on in the first half. What happened in the second half, when Bowen moved into the middle, he dropped off the centre-back because we weren't winning that physical battle against two centre-backs who had good games for Fulham, I thought. He dropped off 1-2 with Somerville, and Somerville was through. And it was literally that easy. It weren't rocket science. We could see that the solution was there, but we just decided not to go for it in the first half. So it's still, I'm with you, mate. It's baffling to me that we didn't start with Jarrod Bowen up front today. His quick thinking for the goal is such a symptom of what he's good at. He did it in the Conference League. Was it in the final we won that penalty? He did it in maybe the quarterfinal. We did exactly the same thing. He got to the byline, cut it back, and Ings was there. And he scored in the Conference League. So it is an absolute symptom of why that man is the captain, because he didn't stop trying and he come up with an unbelievable ball for Danny Ings. So I'm actually good. I was going to say a 6, or a 6.5. I'm going to upgrade it to a 7 because of that unbelievable assist. We don't get anything out of that game if it wasn't for Jarrod Bowen's assist. So yeah, 7 for me.
Lucas.
I'm gonna give him a strong 6. Again, I agree with like really everything you guys have said. He's like the ultimate just effort guy. Like he's always working hard. His work rate is unbelievable. And he just doesn't stop trying. I thought he'd done the most he could do today with the opportunities he got. He only had 37 touches today, but he did complete 11 out of 12 passes. So, I mean, he didn't have a lot of opportunity, but done the most he could with it. And again, the assist for the goal was amazing. That's really all down to just effort, because the ball was going out. It was probably in by a couple centimeters. It looked out on television if I'm being honest, but Jarrod Bowen, what a man. I love that he's my captain. So 6.5 or
Fair
strong
enough.
6. Sorry.
We move on to Mikel Antonio. I'm going to go first. I love you, Mickey. You've done great things at this club, but it's time to hold bench, I'm afraid. Why this man is still playing at 34 years of age as a centre forward at West Ham United is beyond belief. Like, baffles the life out of me. I thought today he was non-existent. And I know people use the excuse he's just come back from international and all that. I understand that. But you still got to put in some sort of effort and like commitment. You're playing for West Ham United, for fuck's sake. First half, he couldn't hold the ball up. There was a pass where it was like a timid pass and they counter-attacked us, nearly scored from it. I'm going to be honest. I do not understand why he's starting. He is a last 20-minute man at best for West Ham. He should not be nowhere near starting for us, but for some reason, he started enough every game for us. So that is beyond belief with me. I'm giving him a 2 out of 10 for turning up, having a kick about in West London. Same as Soucek. Both of them come off at half time. Both of them weren't fucking good enough. And both of them shouldn't be starting in the next game. It's as simple as that. Jay, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm very similar to you, mate. I love the bloke. I absolutely love the bloke. But an aging Mikel Antonio who's just played international games against two big physical centre-backs, it was no contest. It was like a boy against two men. It really was. It just didn't offer anything. And this, again, the root of all of our problems comes from the fact that when we got it clear, the ball just came straight back. Like we just offered nothing in that first half, and ultimately it cost us because I don't remember us creating a chance. The commentator even said like Bernd Leno's had nothing to do, and he did have nothing to do. The bloke didn't. I don't think he had a shot, did he? I don't remember him having an attempt on goal. I don't remember him completing a pass in a key area. I just remember him and Soucek sitting in each other's pockets, miles away from where the play was, just hoping that a ball was going to magically come over the top to him, and it didn't happen. Like no one's shocked. So. Yeah, I agree. I like this. I like this phrase "whole bench," but I agree. Like his time is not now. I think we switched to Bowen up front, and I think Fulkrug is your rotation option with Bowen, and Antonio is there in case you need him. So I'm sorry, Mickey. It's 2.5 out of 10 for me, and I'm sure he'll have some kind of role to play later in the season.
Lucas,
I'm gonna give him a 3, just because. Again, he wasn't great today, but then again, he had like 22 touches. He's got a guy behind him who's playing as a 10, who isn't a 10, and they both pretty much try to like do the same thing, which is basically cause chaos. And I love a chaos goal, but yeah, it just wasn't great today. The quality wasn't there, but again, he really didn't have much around him. And in the midfield we started with, like, I don't know how we're supposed to progress the ball to get it to him. But even when Antonio did get the ball, it wasn't great today. So 3 for me.
3 for you, mate. Right, we move on. Right, lads, because I've got 14% battery. I need to get this done. Right, we're going to go numbers time. So just give us a number for these players. We'll start off with Lucas Paqueta, Jay.
6. 40 come on, tried hard, and impacted the game. So, yeah, 6 for me.
Lucas?
I'll give him a high 5. I think him just being on the pitch and coming on changed things a bit, but I didn't think he was that. But he wasn't bad. Yeah. He did make a difference, I will say.
I'll give him just a 6. I agree with what you just said. He comes on. He did make a better impact because it couldn't have been fucking that bad in the first half.
Someone's showing for the ball. That's the difference.
Yeah, so we'll go with a 6 for him. Jay, Somerville?
6.5. I think he looked bright when he come on. I thought his runs were good. He pressed well. He linked up well, and similar, like he showed for the ball, and he had an impact. So yeah, 6.5.
Lucas?
6.
Yeah, I'll go with a 6 and all. Yeah, look bright. Vladimir Soufal, Lucas?
6. Great throw-in for the assist.
Yeah, great bit of awareness. Defensively a bit iffy, but yeah, I'll give him a 6 and all for that. Jay?
Yeah, agreed. Can't offer anything different to that. 6 is fair.
Right. Soler, Lucas. Could have been sent off.
4. I didn't think he was good when he come on. But again, that's not really on him. It's not entirely on him. So
I'll give him a 5. I'll go next if Jay's will last. I'll give him a 5. I think he's lucky to be on the pitch. I think on another day, another referee who's not a fucking idiot, I think they send him off. So I'll give him a 5. Jay, what you saying?
Agreed. Can't believe he didn't get a red card. A lot more. What I do like is he was physical. He wanted to get involved. Let this be his lesson and his get out of jail free card, and don't do it again. Yeah, 5 for me.
Right, comes to this man, Daniel Wings,
10.
the hero. Great.
10. Yeah. He's the saviour. 8 minutes played, and he come on and he scored the goal that we needed. What more could you ask for
him? I think that's pretty easy. Like, I think they're all 10s. He comes on.
Rating hero.
Saviour. West Ham's fucking saviour. So yeah, 10s all round for him. Right, we'll come to the referee. What did you make of this ref, Lucas? Because he was fucking awful.
Yeah, he was not only in terms for us, but just like if you are an aspiring referee or you'd like to learn the rules of football, the game of football, this is not a guy you'd like to watch. I would love to know Keith's analysis. You know what? That'd be so lovely to get Keith on the membership or just have a referee analysis of how they officiated the match, and he could give his prestiged rating. I would give this ref a -5. He deserves to be in handcuffs in the back of a cop car.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought he was fucking atrocious. I'm giving him a 0 out of 10.
No prison time.
Yeah, he can have a bit of he can do a bit of bird if he wants. I'm going to be honest. What I couldn't work out, every time West Ham wanted to speed the game up, he slowed the game down every single time.
Like that one when Reece Nelson got the yellow card and we tried playing the free kick.
Yeah,
the ref didn't give it to us.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention that one, but they like trigger you into action. But yeah, listen,
that absolutely.
Yeah,
that fucks me off. I hate that. So like when Declan Rice got his second yellow, right? Everyone that was bitching and moaning about there's no way it's a yellow. That's a yellow every day of the week.
How the fuck Lukic stayed on the pitch for as long as he did, even though he got subbed? He should have been at 2 bookings.
That's probably what frustrates me the most about today. Is I even said it on the preview. Like Lukic, he plays DM. He's not really a DM. He's not that great. The Fulham midfield wasn't that great, and we still just we matched their energy today from what I've seen.
Yeah, I totally agree. Shout out to Lawrence, all the way over in Lexington, Kentucky. Shout out to him. Jay, give us a rating for the ref.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give him a 1 out of 10 because he didn't give the penalty when it would have been very easy for him to blow for a penalty.
That's true.
Like, that's the only reason. I still think check his hard drive and put a warrant out for him. But, like, he didn't get that wrong. But, like, the yellow cards were, like, all over the place. There was no consistency over the fouls he was giving. He was nitpicking on where we were taking free kicks from when we were trying to take one quick. Paqueta took one that was 2 yards away from where the foul was committed when we had a chance to break quickly, and he stopped it and made us go back. It just all over the shop. 1 out of 10 for me.
He should have just let the linos officiate from the sidelines. So
would have been a better job. Let Stockley Park do it remotely or something. Yeah,
you know what? Get the robots in. Get them in.
I can get him in now.
Agreed.
Right, from one robot to this man, Julian Lopetegui.
You mean Roberto?
Roberto, yeah,
Mr. Roberto, Senor Roberto.
I'm gonna be honest. I've calmed down since earlier on, but I was fucking livid with him today. Absolutely livid. Right, I'll go through mine and then I'll let you come in and land. For me, the lineup is wrong straight away. Like, we all know it's wrong. Like, Soucek as a 10, wrong. Antonio playing, wrong. Kudus on the left, wrong. And it felt like to me that he was trying to be reserved, try not to get beat, and then try and win the game in the second half. Which, for me, you can only do that for so long before you get done. The praise that I will give him is that he does throw everything at it at the end. He brings Danny Ings on, and he does go for it. But there is a but here. You shouldn't be in that fucking situation in the first place. Like, you simply shouldn't. We was lucky to be 1-0 down. Like, if they score another one, it's good night Vienna. We ain't coming back. And we should have lost the game today. Let's have it right. I'll leave my rating to the end. But Lucas, I'll let you land on Lopetegui.
For me, the starting lineup, I wasn't a fan of it. But again, I understand it to a point because of international break and a lot of players coming back usually a day later than normal. So I'd probably give that aspect like a 4 out of 10. The tactics today weren't great. I really didn't know what our mission was today. I don't know what we were trying to exploit, what we were trying to do in general. So I'd probably give that a 4, maybe a 3. The substitutions, again, I always say how much I really rate the way he does substitutions. He seems to make the right ones at the right time. And like you said, I do like that he does try to go for a result at the end. And it paid off. So the substitutions and all that, I'd probably give him like a 7 or 8. So really, when I do that kind of math, I'm not literally going to do the math in my head, people. So I'm going to give him. This is a tough one, actually. I'm going to give him a 5. It wasn't great, but again, if you're going to make a mistake, you right your wrongs in the end. You correct yourself, and ultimately, he corrected his mistakes. We got a result when we shouldn't have. But again, I'm giving him praise where he deserves it, but also that lineup that he threw out there was crap. But again, yeah. I understand why he had that 11.
I agree with you. I'm giving him a 5. I'm not convinced by this geezer. For me, he's a stubborn bastard. I'm going to say it. Fuck it. He's a stubborn bastard. He's picking players in positions. He's trying to make these players play in positions that they're not comfortable with, which for me is a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. Eventually, the fans are going to turn on him and say, well, what the fuck are you doing, Julian Lopetegui, when we've got players who can play in the natural positions, so to speak. So, yeah, he gets a 5 for me. Jay, what are you saying, mate?
Yeah, I would break this into first half and second half. I think the first half was a joke. It was an absolute joke. And we all sat there as soon as we saw the lineups and went, well, this is going to be a horror show, an absolute horror show. And now we went 3-0 down at halftime. I've got no idea. So he really got away with it. The commentator said at one point that he could have changed it after 20 minutes. I'd have had a lot of respect for him if after 20 minutes he'd held his hands up, made a sub or two and gone, lads, I've got this wrong. Let me change the formation and let's try playing a different way. I'd have had a lot of respect for that. But ultimately, we scraped through the first half, just 1-0 down. and he managed the game really well in the second half. But to your point, James, we shouldn't be in that position. He shouldn't have got it so horrendously wrong. So I think I would say 3 out of 10 in the first half, 7 out of 10 in the second half, which would come into an average of 5. So I think we're all in agreement there. The only thing I want to add to that is I want us to try and be as patient as we can. And what I've said all along is I want to see that we're learning from the mistakes that we make. Today was a mistake. Today was like, we should not have been in that position at half time. We've got to learn from that. And we've got to change that lineup. Next time we play a team of a similar caliber as Fulham, I don't want to see that lineup. And after 9-10 games in the Premier League, hopefully we can sit here and go, look at the journey we've gone on. And this is what's improved. This is our best 11. This is our kind of philosophy and style. So hopefully that is what happens. But try and be as patient, everyone in chat and everyone out there. Try and be as patient for as long as you can, because I do think it will get better.
You're asking a lot, Jay.
The only thing I will say to counter that is this isn't the first time he's done it this season. Like he's like with the Soucek in the 10 and Antonio through the middle and Mo on the left, and it just seems to me that he's searching for his best team, but his best team's right in front of him. But he's trying to shoehorn players in, which I've been saying it for weeks, into positions that he don't feel comfortable with. Now, I'm going to put it to you like for this before we round this video up. Crescencio Somerville comes on today and he looks a breath of fresh air. Right, he looks like a raw talent that needs to be unleashed. Are you telling me that Thomas Soucek is going to be ahead of him in that role as a 10 when you could just change one player and put Crescencio Somerville on the left-hand side, which is his natural position, and then you could play Mo as a 10, or you could play Mo on the right? And you can it just takes one player to change it. But for some crazy reason, Lopetegui has got this thing in his head where he sees Thomas Soucek as the next Marouane Fellaini. And for me, I don't get that. I really don't. Today, and we said it on the afterthought, and I say it right now, we paper over the cracks today, massively. Like this one is a one where we're going to look back in 4 or 5 months' time and say, well, that's the point that we got that we didn't deserve, but we got a point there. Yeah. Next week against Chelsea, I need to see something different. I can't see Antonio up front. I can't see Thomas Soucek as a fucking 10, right? And if that means that you've got to rotate it round and take risks, then fucking so be it. I've not seen no decent football at the minute from West Ham. I don't know about you boys, but all I've seen in the last 5 games is West Ham setting up as a counter-attacking unit. And that's what we are. We like a counter-attack unit.
Yeah, I thought we were going to play this beautiful possession-based football and go after other sides. But
take the fucking shackles off that I remember. Do you know what I mean? The fucking shackles are still on. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know about you, Lucas, but have you seen anything different, really?
Some things, yes, but that I would say they're great things. I mean, defensively, we're a lot different. For the worse, I'd say. Some patterns of play in different areas are different in a good way, but the philosophy in which we are going forward is not all too different. If I'm being honest, I don't know. Again, some people just took things way out of context and started painting fictional pictures, in my opinion, and they really let that get away from reality, in my opinion. And I don't know. I said it from the start. I'm gonna give Lopetegui till literally Christmas or December until I form my overall opinion. But I've always had the same thought about him as I do now. I don't rate him that highly. I'm open to him proving me wrong, and I hope he is a success here. I don't want anyone to fail at West Ham. I want us to be the best club in the world. But again, there's just not I don't know. I'm not impressed. Not a lot of things have impressed me, but he does do things differently, whether some's good, some's bad. To answer your question, I'm not impressed.
To round this up, I could understand it if we had a massive injury crisis and you're trying to shoehorn players into positions for cover. I can understand that. I really can. But I can't understand it when you got Crescencio Somerville sitting on the bench and then you got Soucek in a 10, which is doing nothing. That one I can't work out. And listen, Cross-Enzo Summerville doesn't need time. And if I hear one more person say you've got to give them time to bed in, I feel like I fucking strangle them. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they don't need no time to bed in. If I want to fucking bed something in, I'll go to a fucking plant shop and buy some fucking plants to bed in. Do you know what I mean? I've had enough of this fucking bedding in bollocks. So yeah, I need to see something against Chelsea next week. 100%. Right, I need to see something against Chelsea. I need to see a free-flowing attacking lineup and not this fucking pragmatic bollocks that he's coming out with. I will say that. Jay, any final words from you, mate?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like he spent 150 mil. I'll need to see more. I agree with you on Summerville. I think he proved today that he's ready. He's ready to start a Premier League game. Unleash him. Let him see what he can do. Chelsea next who are playing well. It's a free hit again. Like just go and have a go at them and see what we can do. If we lose 3-1 like we did against City, but we give them a good game, there's learnings, there's players getting fitness, and then we can move forward and see what we can do. So yeah, look, we got away with it today, but we need to see more next game.
Yeah, for Chelsea, I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see like Paqueta in the 10, Kudus right, Bowen striker, Summerville on the left, and then
do it.
Whatever midfield pairing we see, it is what it is. And like I said before, I just want Lopetegui to just have some cojones and just literally put it out there, whether he thinks Soucek is better than Rodriguez or not. Because if he plays Soucek in the 10 again, or whatever it is he's playing him right now, that's just a load of shit, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't care how much you rate a player. You can't put a polar bear in Arlington, Texas.
Very true. They'll
die.
It will. Yeah. So would our fucking football if he carries on. I want to thank you boys for coming on and giving us your time this evening on this player ratings. West Ham give us 95 minutes of time, but we only had about 35 seconds of joy. Yeah,
but it was damn good.
It was damn good when it happened. I will say that. Yeah, smash a like on the video, subscribe to E20 Zone TV, and hit that notification bell. I will not be back now for a little while. I will plan to do something in the week. Jay will probably do a little video in the week. And these two lads will probably do the preview next week for Chelsea. Please, West Ham, fucking turn up against them. We can't lose against them. Anyway, enjoy your Saturday wherever you are. From me to you, take care of yourselves. And above all else, everyone, each other. Above.